Set foot in the city again and I'll put out your eyes.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the most interesting hidden details in the latest installments of House of the Dragon.
And there we have it.
While we're not going to spoil the show itself, we won't hesitate to spoil Game of Thrones. Number 10. Rhaenyra's life. One of the most exciting reveals this week is the presence of never-before-seen dragon eggs.
Have you forgotten your history?
Dreamfire.
We learn these once belonged to Rhaenyra, but not the one who rides Sheepstealer. It was actually Aegon the Conqueror's granddaughter. She became one of Maegor the Cruel's 3 black brides after he killed her husband, then forced her into marriage.
Rhaena Targaryen came to Harrenhal after the death of her daughter, and she grieved and grew old here.
Rhaena once rode Dreamfire, Helena's current dragon. She outlived her horrible partner, but her life after was still full of sorrows. After the death of her child, she moved to Harrenhal, spent the rest of her days there, and additionally left us these new dragon eggs we've seen today.
It's warm.
There's an ancient strength here.
Sadly, they're unlikely to hatch given there are 0 dragons in Game of Thrones. Number 9. Black Aly. It was Alysan Blackwood who fired the first arrow to kill Criston Cole. She hasn't been particularly relevant so far, but she'll become increasingly prominent in the future. House Blackwood is one of the most powerful families in the Riverlands, whom you may remember Daemon struggling to pacify in Season 2. This was because they are constantly feuding with House Bracken, their mortal enemies.
You wouldn't dare.
Despite the name, only 3 members of House Blackwood have ever had black hair according to the books, with Black Aly being one of those. The other 2 are Lord Titus and Queen Betha, with the latter being married to Aegon V, arguably the most admired king in Westerosi history. Number 8. Upsetting the common folk further.
You know my response. Sir Torrin Manderley is master of coin. It is his task now to distribute what resources we have.
When she became queen, many of her strongest supporters were simple common folk. It didn't take long for her to outrage the nobles, but now she's becoming increasingly unpopular among the lower classes. This is largely due to the lack of security in the capital, with many of Daemon's men leaving the City Watch and her not having the resources to fix it. Unfortunately for our queen, this makes King's Landing far less safe, therefore worsening the already horrendous situation the locals are in.
But how will we now be protected? If the City Watch fails, then who will preserve order among us?
I have sent for Valyrian men to root out the enemy within our walls. Once they arrive, the city shall be returned.
How will they be protected?
Rhaenyra is learning more and more every day that it's almost impossible to rule with no money and enemies waiting for you in every corner. Number 7. The Triarchy is finished. We got a short scene between the Velaryons discussing providing even more soldiers for Rhaenyra. It's not the focus, but we learn that the Triarchy is finally destroyed this episode. They're the Eastern Free Cities, whom you may remember fighting at the Battle of the Gullet earlier. Now, Rhaenyra seems to have complete dominance of the seas. Those who know their lore will realize that everyone seems to be overlooking the Ironborn. They've been mentioned a few times, and we saw a couple in episode 5, but as a political entity, they've barely been involved in the war so far. Number 6. Uncle Alyn. The fact that Alyn's father is Corlys Velaryon has been a major plot point for a while. Now he's officially one of the family, and in traditional Valyrian fashion, he's already fallen for his niece. Baela Targaryen is Corlys' granddaughter, alongside being Daemon's daughter, plus Rhaenyra's sister. If you're unfamiliar with Targaryen dating rituals, this might seem massively taboo, but it's unsettlingly normalized among Valyrians. On the bright side, this practice doesn't have the same downsides as it does in real life.
We're very dutiful.
I am the eldest.
Fans theorize it doesn't lead to physical deformities, but instead mental unwellness, potentially explaining the infamous Targaryen madness. Number 5. Helena's tapestry. Here we get a fairly meta explanation for the intro tapestry. It turns out it was likely a creation of Halaena Targaryen. She's easily the most logical choice for an in-universe tapestry creator, as she has the power to foresee the future.
Give me, Helaena, the road ahead was fraught with peril. To bring us more. You lied.
We don't get to see the entire thing, but we see a brief shot of a one-eyed man surrounded by blood. People initially thought this was a White Walker on account of the blue eye. It makes more sense to be Aemond, but to properly explain that, we'd have to spoil the show, something Helaena doesn't seem interested in avoiding. Number 4. Tumbleton's architecture. Many of us were intrigued by the peculiar architecture of Tumbleton we got a brief glimpse of. The houses look almost like massive beehives from a distance. For inspiration, production designer Jim Clay went exploring Spain and Italy. In the south of Italy, he discovered trolley buildings with these distinctive stepping rooftops. If you want to see them yourself, you'll have to visit Alberobello in Apulia. Even though it is close to King's Landing relative to Westeros, they wanted it to look entirely different, not only to avoid confusion, but also because it just makes the world feel more aesthetically diverse. Number 3. What's happening with Borros Baratheon?
Well met, Lord Ormond. I come as an envoy of Lord Borros Baratheon, Lord Paramount of the Stormlands.
Many of us were excited to see the Baratheons becoming more involved, sent by Borros' orders to aid Daeron. Others were also sent to Rhaenyra, who mainly just complained about fighting Dorne.
My queen, the delegation from House Baratheon has arrived.
We learn the men in Tumbleton were actually assassins who had nothing to do with Borros. Details on the stag are sparse in the novels, but we know he was expected to support Rhaenyra when the war began, then ended up befriending Aemond. This scene implies that he's still supporting the Greens, but since they have nothing to do with him, the Baratheons' current moves are ambiguous. If he were truly loyal, we would expect him to have sent a force to Tumbleton by now.
I could brand him a traitor and hang you in his stead.
No disrespect was intended, Your Grace.
Number 2. Bold Jon Roxton. For the whole show, Corlys Velaryon has been one of the show's highlights. Sadly, Ormond Hightower has stopped him from making it to the show's conclusion.
Your blades are needed in the city. And I have been too long away.
The culprit is Jon Roxton, a new character introduced in Series 3. For those curious, he's the head of House Roxton, a house based in the Reach, assumed to be composed of landed knights. Maybe the most fascinating fact about them is their possession of Orphan-Maker, a Valyrian steel sword that is currently owned by Jon Roxton. For those who haven't read the book, Corlys' death happens unusually early. In the novels, he's killed by walking up some steps after the war's conclusion.
Who are you? What's your errand?
Number 1. Unfit to rule. Book readers have long awaited the day when the Iron Throne begins to cut Queen Rhaenyra. We've finally seen it happen this week, which indicates she's unfit to rule.
You have my condolences. I shall light a candle for her when next I attend the Sept.
The last ruler this happened to was Viserys, and it's theorized the cut led to his death. Even though we've been eagerly awaiting Rhaenyra taking the throne for the first 2 series, now that she's sat on it, she's been making an absolute mess. The chair cutting her is a confirmation of things to come, which you'll remember Joffrey mentioning in Game of Thrones. We won't spoil for those who have forgotten though.
He was but 6 and 10!
Your Grace, we are afraid. And wherever the fault lies, we have none to look to now but you.
Were there any more fun facts even we failed to spot? Let us know in those comments below.